Okay, so I'll mute myself.
Okay, sounds good. So, all right, so I am going to do some training, and I decided kind of last minute that I'm going to do 2 parts to this, mainly because I feel, well, first of all, I missed one of the days of training. So this training came from Ray Higdon. He did a 7-day TikTok challenge, and I actually missed one of the days of training, so I don't have any notes on it. So that was part of the reason why I was going to set it up into 2 different parts. And then as I was kind of going through my notes, I just thought it made sense to talk about certain things in one section and other things in another section. And I think it's a lot of information. And so, I mean, obviously, every day they had an hour of training during this thing. So it's technically 7 hours worth of training that I'm going to boil into hopefully an hour to an hour and a half. So, so I'm going to do part 1 tonight. And tonight I'm going to talk, I think that what I'm going to teach you, especially in tonight's, is really something you can utilize in all aspects of social media. So whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you are, this is information that you're going to want to have and you're going to want to know for anything. So I think anyone that is on your team should at least listen to part 1. If they're not even, I know a lot of people might be not interested in TikTok, and that might be why I only have Elise on the call right now. But anyone I think could get value out of this first section. So tonight we're going to talk about finding your avatar, your perfect prospect. We're going to talk about the steps after you find your avatar. And then we're going to talk about, there was one night that they did training, they did some QA. So in that QA, they talked a little bit about getting engagement, knowing who you should follow, what hashtags to use, and then text and captions to use to increase engagement. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And then part 2 is going to be, we're going to talk about generating leads. So how you convert people and move them into the win, or basically, a sale or someone that's going to join your team. We're gonna, and then it's going to get very technical. So the second day of this training, or when I have to figure out what I'm going to do, that it'll hopefully be within the next week here. I'm going to actually pull my phone up on the screen and show you guys different features. So we're going to talk about trending videos and sound. We're going to talk about features and effects. And then we're going to talk a little bit about batching content. I'm doing it in this order because I really feel like you have to really know who it is you're talking to before you start creating the videos, before you start creating the content. And so I know we were doing a video every single day, but we didn't even learn about finding our avatar until day 4 or 5, I think. Yeah, it was like day 5, picking your passion and niche. So, we're 5 days in and we're finally figuring out how we talk, how we figure out who we're supposed to be talking to. So I just thought it would be important to figure that piece out first, and then learning how to actually do the TikTok stuff. So I'm just I have notes here. I'm not gonna necessarily read, I'm gonna talk it through. So the first person that did training, she talked basically about how she took her a year. She joined TikTok and thought she would never do it, kind of like me. But she really, once she decided to do it, she did the work, she stepped in, and she was intentional. So it wasn't just, I'm going to join TikTok, I'm going to create some videos and not like have a plan. She came in with a plan. She followed and direct message 25 new people every single day that were her ideal person. So I'm going to talk about that ideal person, her avatar, her ideal client. She would basically go in, and this is something we should be doing in all social media again, is commenting on content to get on people's radar. So every single day, she followed 25 new people, and she didn't just follow 25 random people. She followed 25 people that had commonalities with her. So she figured out her avatar. And then after she figured out her avatar, she said, okay, well, that's the kind of people I'm going to follow. I'm going to follow the people that are my avatar, right? And my ideal person. And so she would comment on their content, get on their radar. She talked a lot about how TikTok is way different than Instagram and Facebook. The algorithm is completely different. They basically want to put your content in front of your perfect person. It's all about community. So it's all about who you are engaging with, who you are watching, who you're commenting on, who you're liking, the different types of sounds and trends that you're looking for and finding. Those are who they're going to put in front of you, and they're going to put you in front of those people. So it's all about like kind of almost like matchmaker in a way, where they're going to find you people to follow based on what you're liking and what kinds of hashtags you're looking for, what kind of hashtags you're using. And so same thing goes with other people on TikTok. Like if someone's using, you know, moms over 40 on TikTok, they're going to put your content in front of those people if you are someone that also uses that content in your hashtags. So it's all about community, and they put those people on they call it a FYP page. I didn't know what that was. It's the For You page basically. So in TikTok, you have two different like news feeds basically. One is your For You page, and the other one is just your regular news feed of the people you follow. So your For You page is the people that TikTok has determined through the algorithm, through your actions and other people's actions, who they think you would like to follow, basically, who they think you would be interested in watching their TikToks. What kinds of TikToks are you engaging in? So one thing I found when I joined TikTok, it was not for me to do TikToks. It was for me to watch my daughter. And because she had a TikTok account, I was making sure that, like, you know, I could keep an eye on her and things. Well, then I ended up taking TikTok away from her. So then she'd get on my phone sometimes and look up TikToks. So I have to probably figure out how to almost like break my current For You page and my current what's going on in my TikTok, because I think she's looked up so many things and looked up her friends and done things and on my TikTok account that I think it's kind of messed up my algorithm a little bit. But I think it'll be fine, because you know, as I start looking for hashtags that are more relatable to me and that kind of thing, I think it'll be fine. It will start changing my newsfeed a little bit, but just something for you guys to consider. Had I known that prior to this challenge, I probably would have just started a brand new account and started at zero. I mean, I was at zero because I had basically, I think I had one video out there. I probably would have started over just to kind of not have to deal with that, but I did the challenge and I have videos on there. And so I'm just going to keep it moving at this point. So just something for you to consider. If you don't have a TikTok account right now, get started. But if you do have one that you've not necessarily been using from a intentional, you know, on an intentional level, that you might want to consider getting a new account. So the one thing also about how TikTok is way different, she said that if it's a very engaging post, it may be shown over and over and over again. So you know how Facebook basically, and even Instagram, I would say, you're like looking at your newsfeed every single day, and you don't see something from months ago, right? You see something that's current, like within probably 2 to 3 days, and that's even probably pushing it. A lot of stuff you see in your newsfeed is going to be hours ago, maybe a day ago. Every once in a while, you might see something further out than that. But with TikTok, if it's something that really went viral and got really popular and was seen over and over again, they're going to continue showing that video from weeks and months later, potentially. And I have seen that. So like, as I've scrolled through my newsfeed, I'll look through trending sounds and stuff, and I'll see people's posts from like February of this year, or, you know, earlier even. So she said you really need to be intentional though. So she basically gets 90% or more of her business from TikTok now. And at the very beginning, she didn't even have an account, and she started it a year ago. She said, but she was intentional. like I said, every single day. You can't just sit there and wait for people to come to you. You have to be intentional. She followed and direct messaged 25 people every day, like I said. So just something for you to keep in mind. So finding your avatar is really the first step in what you're going to want to do after you create your TikTok account. And basically an avatar is who your perfect person is. And there's a couple things I have, and I'll actually put this out on Dream Seekers, but I have notes because I've actually done some work on finding my perfect person in other trainings that I've done before in the past. And so I'm going to read through this real quick for you guys, because I think it'll be helpful, and then I'll post it out on Dream Seekers. So it talks about background on finding your perfect prospect. So one of the very things that you're going to want to do to attract your perfect business partner or customer to you is knowing who it is that you're talking to. And why that's so important is because when you know who it is that you want to talk to, it makes it easier to create powerful content, to gain engagement, to get interest from people, and to also get trust from your perfect prospect. So you're basically talking directly to that person that you want on your team, or to that person that is going to be the perfect person that's going to use your product, right? It's also an important skill. And one of the things that people get hung up on, which can lead to missing out on sponsoring the right person in our organization. So you really have to narrow it down to who that person is. And I'm going to give you some questions. Again, you don't need to write this down because I will put it in Dream Seekers. I'm going to give you some questions to kind of help tailor who that person is, so you can really think about who that person is. It's really a cheat sheet to something that you can use and implement today. And so it helps it become really crystal clear. So you're going to ask these questions about your perfect person, right? You're going to say, what is their name? And I know it's so crazy. Like, she even named her person. So she named her, I don't even remember what it was, like Jill or something like that. So you have to think about it in that specific, because then every time you create content, every time you create a video, you're actually talking to that person. So what is their name? Are they male or female? How old are they? Where do they live? Are they married or single? Do they have children or grandchildren? What is their biggest worry or concern when they wake up every single morning? You know, like if you're trying to find someone who can't pay their mortgage, their biggest worry when they wake up in the morning is going to be, oh gosh, I don't know where I'm going to get my, I don't know where my next check is coming from. How am I going to pay my mortgage? You're going to create content around something that solves that problem for them, right? So it's really all about figuring out what their concerns are and what their problem is, and then you giving them a solution for that problem. What does this person do for a living? What is their greatest fear in their career? If money was no object in 3 years, what would this person be doing? What do they like to do after work? What groups and pages do they follow on social media? What are some of their favorite brands? What influencers and celebrities do they follow? What types of books and magazines do they read? It's really all about, these questions are about you getting specific with that person, so you know exactly how to talk to them. A lot of times they say that your perfect person or your perfect prospect is going to be someone who is very similar to you. And so that's the easiest thing to do, because you can just go out and create your content on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and really you're attracting people that are very similar to you. Okay. So after you figured out who your perfect person is, then it's, what types of posts do you do? What can I do to give them value and make them want to know more, make them want to know, like, and trust you? How can you get them to relate to you? So the other thing she talked about was what she did after she figured out her avatar was she followed, like I said before, she interacted, like I said before, and she messaged. So as people in TikTok, you can't message people unless you're connected both ways. So if you follow someone and they follow you back, that's the only way you can actually send them a direct message. So basically, she would follow people and comment on their stuff and do that until it was reciprocated back. And she would only follow the people that she was interested in, right? It wasn't, like if her perfect prospect is a mom over 40, she wouldn't be, following men that are 25 years old, because that's not her perfect prospect. She'd be following people that fall within her perfect prospect. And so she would, once they reciprocated back and followed her, she would send them just a quick message. So this was like her daily mode of operation every single day. Followed, comment on people's things. As they follow her back, she would message. And her messages were basically the same. Thanks for following me. I mean, I'm just giving you kind of an example here. So thanks for following me. I love connecting with other middle-aged people in this app, or within TikTok. I hope my posts inspire or entertain you every day. Are you staying healthy during this challenging time? And her niche is health and wellness. So she's in from a health and wellness company. So that was kind of her message to people. And then it's really, after doing those things, it's creating your content for your avatar. Creating content that they're going to be entertained by, creating content that's going to give them value, creating content that's going to solve a problem that they have so that they can relate to it. And then there was another person that talked a little bit about picking your passion in your niche. Her name was Talia Reiser. She also said, for when you're trying to figure out like what your niche is or who your avatar is what do you want out of showing up on TikTok every day? Are you looking to recruit people? Are you looking to sell your product? What is it that you are trying to do? Because that's how you're going to create your content. She said to pick your passion, think about two different things. One, and we've talked about this before just in our story, right? Who were you before network marketing? How did you feel? What was your pain? What was your struggle? And then pick a solution to what your life is now. And that's what you post about. I mean, and you're putting other stuff in there about your general life and stuff, but that's going to talk to your perfect person. But it's also picking a solution to the problem that you had, because you are kind of your perfect person, right? You can relate, people can relate to you through your experiences. So that was that. Do you have any questions on that at all, Lise?
No. So I have not joined TikTok yet, technically.
Good.
So it was interesting. You say, so you can't just message people.
You cannot until they follow you back.
I think I like that.
I do too. I think I really like it because that once someone's following you, they're obviously interested in what you're putting, the content you're putting out there. Otherwise they wouldn't follow you, right? Because people followed me on TikTok before, and if I look at their page and I'm like, I don't follow them back.
Right.
I mean, why would I? Especially knowing what TikTok's algorithm is going to do. Why would I follow them back? I want to follow people that are I want to follow people that it's going to attract. It's going to be the back and forth. So when I get like men that follow me, I usually don't follow them back at all. I just, they're not my perfect person. So.
But it also means you can't get all those like creepy messages.
Yes. Yeah. And that's part of the other thing. I'm like, no, thanks. So, yeah. So I think it's kind of cool too. So then they did like a QA one night. And so I'm going to talk about some of the questions that people had and go through the answers that pertain to kind of tonight's topics. And then I'll do some more of the questions because they talk more about the technical stuff like trending sounds and stuff. So one of the questions was how to get more engagement on videos. And so basically, always making sure you have a call to action. And I know it's funny because a lot of these things are things all of us have probably heard before, right? Have a call to action, know who you're talking to. It's like kind of the basics again. I felt excited when I started TikTok though, because I was like, well, I feel like I'm kind of starting all over on a whole nother platform, and I can start over. Like when I started in Instagram, I had already had that account for a long time through my other direct sales company even. And I'm like, so this feels so fresh to me that like I'm learning, and it's totally different than other social media. So I feel like, I don't know. They were like, this is like an untouched area right now. So
now is it, when they do call to actions, right? Because TikToks are short, right?
yes.
Are they as short as Reels are? Or are they the same?
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about that because I think it is important. You can do a TikTok up to 3 minutes. Okay. But in this challenge, and what they recommend is you stay under 15 seconds always. And
so you're doing a whole thing and a call to action in 15 seconds.
Yes. I know it sounds crazy. I'll give you these people's names and you can go look at their TikToks to get examples. Okay. You can look at mine, of course, too, but like, again, I'm new at this. I'm trying, but all mine, I think, are 15 seconds or less. Okay. Because you're just putting, and we'll talk a little bit more about, we will talk about that tonight, about text and captions, but you're really not putting sentences necessarily. And then you have words that you can put into the actual like description. You don't have a ton of space for that, even though they don't give you a whole lot of numbers of, you can't type a novel basically. Okay. Like, right. I tried, I think I don't even know, it might be 30. I don't even know what it is, how many characters, but it's not very many. And then to try to get like 3 hashtags in there as well. So it's okay. Challenging, but it's definitely doable. And I think the reason is because people's attention span is a lot of times in longer videos, they'll watch the first 10 to 15 seconds and then they check out. So if you can tell them what you need to tell them within 15 seconds, you're golden. Now, people that go viral and that are really big on TikToks and people love watching, they have a huge following, they can do longer ones because people are interested. You know what I mean? Right. So as we're starting out, it's best just to try to keep it as short as possible. So keep it 15 seconds or under. She said things that, so like call to actions that you would do is you can do like up on your screen right at the end, send me a message or comment blank for more information, comment hair if you want to learn more about this, comment hair to learn more. You can also do voiceovers for your call to actions at the end or at the beginning. Click the link in my bio for more info, or connect with me on Instagram for more information, because you can get people to go to your other platforms too. Right. Let me see. But these types of things are not going to get you. So these kinds of calls to actions are not going to get you comments on your videos. They're going to get action, right? So send me a message or click the link in my bio or this is not going to get you comments. It's going to get you action. So she said the simplest thing for people to actually engage and like comment on your video is just ask them to comment, which seems crazy, right? It's like, she's like, all you really need to do is say, drop the word blank in the comments if you want to learn more, like, and people will do it. Like, so, and she also said, the more you engage with people, the more engagement you're going to get. So that's the opposite of Facebook and whatever. Yes. They don't want telling people to comment. Yes, exactly. I know. Isn't that funny? She also talked about, she has shortcuts in her keyboard on her phone to respond to people. So she keeps a lot of common phrases. TikTok 1, TikTok 2 is what she types in, and then it pulls up her whole response. So you can use your iPhone and do that kind of stuff. She said, if you're messaging people, like the message I kind of shared with you at the very beginning, try to do a couple different variations of that, because you don't want to get put in TikTok jail. So don't, like, if you're, because you will get people following you and you'll be responding to people like a lot. I'm kind of behind right now because people are like responding back to me, and now I have conversations going on there, and I'm like, oh, I have to get back and do my messages now with people and like keep communicating with them and figuring out, but if you're sending that initial message out and it's the same to every single person, then that doesn't look good on TikTok. So you want to just change it up, just slightly tweak it for your messages.
Okay.
Another question was, how do you know who to accept and to follow back? And really, like I said, it depends on if you like their content. So don't just follow people back just to follow them back. If they give you value and they are someone you think you can give value to, like if you see a lot of my perfect person is moms over 40 who have teens. If they have teenagers on their TikTok account, I'm going to follow them, because to me, that's interesting. I want to see what they have to say. What kind of tips, what kind of struggles are they going through? Again, if it's like someone with, 3-year-olds, I don't relate to that anymore. So I'm not going to probably, I don't know, I might, but I'm not going to probably follow that person. I'm going to have more people on my radar that are like-minded to me of what I'm going through in my life right now. And really, that's as simple as it needs to get. You follow the people that you're interested in, because more than likely, if your avatar is you, someone similar to you, those are the people that are going to be interested in back.
Are there limits on TikTok like there are on Facebook and Instagram for how many people you can follow?
We did not talk about that. And so it's a really good question. If you find out, let me know. I have not heard. I've not heard. I kind of feel like no, because it's not related to Instagram and Facebook. I feel like they're similar because they have limits, because they're the same like owner or whatever. So yeah, it's a good question, but I don't know.
That used to be a thing in Instagram where like you were following people for them to follow you back, and like that's the thing, but you had to be careful once you got to a certain point, because your following numbers mattered. Like you're following versus following you, and then you could max out. So then
you had to unfollow people.
Yeah,
I don't know about TikTok. I kind of feel like it probably doesn't, but I haven't heard. I didn't hear. Another person asked, like, how do you know which hashtags to use? One thing that is different also in TikTok is that they recommend three to four. They recommend just not very many, like 3 to 4 hashtags is all you really need to use. And they also recommend that you do use, let me think. I have to remember exactly what she said about the hashtag. If you do use hashtags, well, here's one thing she said. Basically, one that applies. So you're going to want to use one that applies to the video that you're creating. One applies to the person that you're trying to attract, and one that defines me. So, and basically using those trending hashtags and popular hashtags are good to do on TikTok. Unlike Instagram, like if you use one that's too popular, you get pushed down. Well, TikTok, it's the opposite. The trending stuff gets pushed up. Just like music, trending music on TikTok gets pushed up. And if you get a lot of people engaging on your TikTok and it has the trending music and the trending hashtag, people that are looking to, or even trending effects. So there's like different effects that you can use on TikTok. Let's say I'm looking to do, I want to do the video that has like the clones of people on it. So then I'll search for that trend and I'll see examples of that trend. Well, if I have, and using that trend, if I'm using a trending thing that someone's looking up, I might come up as an example that they'll look at.
Right.
So using the trending things that TikTok has available is very beneficial to your page. Okay, so that was all on the QA. Then we had the last thing I'm going to talk about tonight anyway, and then I'll schedule another one this week sometime to get more technical. But Stacy Hall talked about text and captions to increase engagement. So basically, your text, let me think, the text is the words that pops up on the screen while the TikTok is going. The captions are, you can also use closed captions. So they have a closed caption button, just like Instagram stories does. So you can also use those. And I don't know why this is one of my bullets, so it's just kind of a weird bullet. I just said captions are the closed captioning words that you're saying of what you're saying. I think it's just an option of something you can use if you want. She said she does use those a lot because a lot of times people like scroll through their social media at night when they're in bed, and they keep their volume down, and then they'll just read. So she said she does try to use those sometimes, the closed captions. But the text that you actually create is not going to be like lots of words. Obviously, in 15 seconds, you're not going to be typing novels because people aren't going to be able to read it that fast. So you want it to be very simple, you know, like short sentences if you're doing a sentence, but one words are even better. Like when they do things to the beat, like when they do a music that's like din, 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 you're like pointing to something like din, din,
Yep.
din, like one word each or whatever. Those are the best things to kind of do because then people can read it faster and easier. She talked a lot about not being literal on your TikTok. Go outside the box and stretch your marketing mind. They had us do a TikTok that was like the trending sound was eat your vegetables. And it was basically, she's like, a lot of you guys actually did vegetables, and some of you it made sense because you maybe have like a green juice that you drink or something like that, but it doesn't have to be literal like that. Like it can be something that you don't like to do in general. Like, so they were trying to get us to stretch our mind and not necessarily use the vegetables, use it as like, this is something I hate to do that I have to do every single day, and do a TikTok with that as your content. So using your, you know, going outside of the box, stretch your mind. She said, and I know this was about text and captions, but this is the stuff she was talking about. So you just have to bear with me. She said, remember to take the trending sound, to use it and to mean something relevant to your audience. So you shouldn't, like when you're looking for a sound to use and you want to use the trending sound because that's usually what's going to get the most hits, you shouldn't listen to that trending sound and be like, oh, I don't have anything that can go with that. Think outside the box, and how can you create a video and make it relevant to your audience, make it relative to your perfect person? How can you get inside the head of your perfect person into the conversation that they're already having? You know, what info can you give to them that's going to let them know that you get them? So it doesn't matter what that trending sound is, you can still use it. Another thing that they talked about with using those trending sounds is turning the volume of the trending sound way down and doing a voiceover, because then it's still coming up in the trending sound. Like when people are looking for the trending sound, your video is still going to pop up, but you can turn the volume way down and just do a voiceover. If you're doing like a quick, like, here's my oil treatment tutorial, you know, like if you're doing like a 3-step oil treatment tutorial in 15 seconds, that trending sound can be in the background. And that's one way to get visibility by using the trending sound. So she said, for example, if your target market is women over 30 who just had a child, you would want to think about what kinds of problems women over 30 who just had a child have. It's way easier if this niche is you. So she talked a little bit about niche during this training as well. You become relatable because you are there and you can portray the problems you are having. So I've been doing a lot of teenager TikToks about my daughter and stuff, because that's where I'm at right now, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, someone that just had a baby, they're no sleep, sleeping with one eye open, no time, exhausted, feeling like they're aging by the minute. They don't recognize their body, worried about being a good mom, wondering how they're going to afford a new mouth to feed, worried about having to go back to work. And when you create your TikTok and your words on your TikTok, that's what you have to think about. Those are the kinds of things you're going to want to think about when you create your text on your TikTok. Is what is it going to do for those people? What kind of benefits are they going to get out of it? So like one example is like you could type sick and tired of being sick and tired, or fed up that you don't recognize your body after baby, and then show the product and say, I felt like just you, thank God I found my solution. And these can be like, if you did 2 sentences like that, you could do one of them on the screen for 7 seconds and then the other one on for the other. So when I have longer text like that, I split it up into 2, and I just do half of it on part of the screen and then the other half for the other half of this 15 seconds. She said, add 3 to 5 text overlays and keep them short and sweet. She said, if you do text to speech, it'll actually add the words. So there's a way, and I'll actually write this down to show you on the next day 2 of training. You can actually like, this is how I woke up today, and it will do like a computer voice. And you can actually like use text to voice. You can, I'll put a, when I post this in Dream Seekers, I'll put a link to a video. I use the text to speech that adds the voice to the words for just the first part of my video. And then I did actual text on the rest of it.
I think I saw one of your reels that had it.
Yeah, Facebook. Like I don't remember exactly what it was. And I probably did grab it and put it on Facebook. Yeah. And then your cover, you can create a cover as well. So you can use some of that as some of your text too, which is basically what they're going to see as a preview to your video, and they'll see that cover. So that can be like the question, you know, like, are you tired of no sleep? And then they click on that, you know, is interesting to them. And then they click on the video, and then you have your couple words and, you know.
So does that count towards the seconds?
No, okay. They're just going to see it in like a preview. So like as they're scrolling, they're going to see that cover. It's frozen at that point until they click on it. So however long it takes for them to click on the video is how long it's going to stay up looking like that with that cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it does not count towards the 15 seconds. So I think that's all I have for tonight, which actually was about 40 minutes worth. That makes sense. But I will figure out, I'm trying to think, it might end up being, I could probably do Wednesday night again. I just have to figure out, I know Chloe has volleyball on game on Thursday night, so I won't be able to do that. And I think I'm doing something with Caden tomorrow night, but maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll post in Dream Seekers when I'm going to do part 2, and then we'll go over and I'll show you guys like actual like video, you know, like I'll show my screen and show you how to do some of these things, because you know, batching is super, super helpful, and it's what I've been doing. Like, I mean, I have to get better about it, but creating a bunch of content, getting a bunch of content ready, and then you can just post it when you need to, and that kind of stuff. So I'll show you guys how to do that. And then, and then some effects that she showed us that were her favorites and those kinds of things. So yeah, that's all I have for tonight. I don't know. I think you would have fun with it. I think you would actually do really well, Elise, to be honest, because I think you get a ton of engagement on Instagram, and I think you have your niche on there. And I think it's relatively easy for you. I mean, easy, quote unquote, but you know what I mean? Right. I think, and honestly, I was very intimidated on creating the videos, but I have to say it is kind of fun. It's kind of like, I'm not, you know, super creative person, but it makes me feel like I'm a little more creative, and it's actually kind of fun. So.
Well, there was a while ago, I think it was during bingo when they were doing the bingo with the tips from the top.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch of videos, like the short, like the reels, not all of them reels, but they were all similar.
Yep.
And I was getting into that rhythm.
Yes.
So I think if I just started it and it started to feel weird on Instagram because then that was all I was posting.
I know, that's all I've been posting on Instagram too, which is kind of weird. I agree.
And that because the people that I follow, like I know they're saying that that's the way it's going and that's what you should be doing, but the people that I follow don't.
Right.
So then I feel weird doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. But you never know, you might entertain them. And that one post that I put on Facebook that I said I got all those views or whatever.
Yeah.
It's up to 57,000 now.
Wow.
And 88 shares.
That's so cool.
Now don't I wish I had actually put like a product or something in there, because this is just, but in a way I'm like, you have to put stuff like, so this was just really trying to be funny about like how parenting is these days compared to what it was. And it's like, I'm trying to entertain people too. Like, I don't want it to obviously be all about spamming my product everywhere. So I like to just throw some like real life stuff in there. I did protein pancakes. I did, so I don't know, like trying to get your teens to eat healthy, and I don't know. So I don't know. Well, hopefully it'll go somewhere. But like I said, just reuse your content, because yeah.
And Samantha had shared not too long ago how to take the logo off.
Yep. And I'm going to show, I don't even know, I didn't watch that video of hers because I wasn't on TikTok at that point. So I don't know how she did it, but I'm going to show tomorrow night, I'll show everyone how to do that as well. So
good.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop my recording.